Thank you. Before we start, I'm gonna ask Reverend Logan to lead us in a word of prayer.
Please, let's bow together, brothers and sisters. Most gracious Father, we thank you, Lord, once again. Last time we didn't meet last month, but Lord, you kept us, and we just appreciate that just so very much. I see people that we're speaking to, and everyone got a smile on their face and just glad to see one another. It's all because of you. You place a joy in our heart that only you can put there. So we ask you to bless our president, Colette, and all the members and all the city staff that are here. Continue to protect them as they go about their daily duties, Lord. We thank you just for the koinonia, Christian fellowship we have one with another. In the name of Jesus, we pray. We ask it all and say together, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Logan. Hello to everybody.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that I will let everybody know where we meet at next month, because you know, MLK will be decorated for Halloween, 4th Monday.
Oh.
So we may have to move this somewhere else. And we don't meet in November, December because it falls on the holidays. So we won't meet those 2 months. Okay. And also, I went to pick up our refreshments and they had the wrong date down. They had October 25th down.
All right.
So
it'll be nice and hot, right?
I was hungry today, so I have to make it up to you next month.
Yeah, no problem.
Aaron's back there, right?
Yes.
Aaron, you want to go ahead and start with code enforcement?
Aaron.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Oh,
Right here.
Okay,
I'm signing, sorry.
okay.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I just have an announcement to make. So we're reviewing the chapter 17 codes for the city of Denton. And we're gonna have 2 meetings. One is a virtual meeting. And that one, if you guys need more information on that, it's just on our website. That one's gonna be on October 17th at 6 p.m. That's the virtual one. And then we have an in-person meeting there at 401, where North Elm. That one's gonna be October 18th at 2 p.m. So if you guys are interested in going over there, at 2 p.m., we're actually gonna be there in person, and we're gonna go over, I guess, what's gonna change moving forward. Because we're trying to move into these, like more towards, so everybody can be on the same page. But those are the 2 meetings that we are gonna be having. One is virtual, and then the other one is in person. So you guys are welcome to come.
Give it virtual one more time.
The virtual one is gonna be on Tuesday, October 17th, and
Okay.
it's gonna be at 6 p.m. And that one, you just go to the cityofdenton.com, community input meetings, and then just scroll down, and it'll say chapter 17. Yeah.
Okay.
That one in person, why is it 2 o'clock when a lot of people are still awake?
I don't know.
I noticed that y'all have a lot of meetings when people are
Yeah.
at work. You don't want them to show up or what?
No. I think that's why they make the virtual one, so it'll be easier for everybody.
Sure.
Well, see,
You know,
not everybody's
that's-
that savvy to, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think what they're gonna do is they're also gonna put it up on the website too. So you guys should be able to see it.
What is chapter
Yeah.
17?
So that's the codes that we go by right now, by code enforcement. So there's gonna be some changes, and I think what we're trying to do is be on the same page as every other department. So you know there's not too much difference between us. So, yeah. Any questions? So, yeah. So you guys are welcome to come. Like I said, we'll be there Wednesday. And then the other one is virtual.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So when you say the different code departments, so everybody can kind of be on the same page, what kind of things that you all are trying to gather together to be on the same page?
I think
What does that mean?
So what that means is we're implementing.
Want to jump in?
Yeah.
Okay, so the majority of development services codes are based on the international codes, and so we are coming in alignment with that. So we're going to be recommending adoption of the International Property Maintenance Code. that will allow us to more easily update it when those get updated and stay in consistency with both the development services and development code items that are functioning under international codes. Just keeps us more in alignment, makes it easier for us to update them. Most of the language is the same. We adopted it early on, but again, there'll be a new update coming in 2023, and then it generally gets updated every 3 or 4 years, so that it'll allow us to more easily approve those updates too.
You know, one of the things that I noticed about, the city of Denton, is that the city is kind of like one big HOA. You know, if you live in an HOA neighborhood, you have to keep up with certain codes. You can't have this, you can't have that, you gotta do this. But, you know, just being on the code review committee that we have, it's very important that we, you know, we're proud of our codes. So when people come into our city, it feels differently from other cities because they can see how everything's kind of lined up. About trees and cars, you don't see old jumped out cars all over the place, you know, because of different kind of codes. So these are kind of some of the things that we'll be lining up with the international code. So.
This is just the first chance for public comment. So we are looking at probably another 6-month long process as we go through this. So this is just the first opportunity. There'll be other opportunities to provide public comment. So October is just the first one. We want to take that information back to our HABSCO group for them to consider those changes and make recommendations. We'll have other public comment periods before we take it to council for final approval.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Officer Cunningham, he's not here. Is he here?
Yeah,
No.
he's right back there. He had some stuff he needed to pass out, you know.
Okay, I'll come back to him.
Okay.
Mayor?
So good evening, everyone. Just got a few things to run down. If you didn't know, obviously I've been watching it closely because full disclosure, it's not a secret. It irritated the heck out of me that we changed the zoning for that. We, as the majority, so I'm gonna leave this for you so you can have that. Colette, if you take that, pass that around. That property on 418 Robertson, right? We were told, hey, they're gonna come, they're gonna build affordable housing. Then delays came, and now exactly what I told you was gonna happen. And that's why I said, don't do it. They sold it. Never built a thing. Advertised, I highlighted on there the MN. They advertised, hey, we got new zoning over here. Advertised it for $200,000 because of the new zoning. So the council gave them extra money. P&Z gave them extra money to leverage to sell it. And we just got to be careful about how our voices are represented in those votes. Because now somebody else is over here that we've never met, that now doesn't have to go before council, have the zoning they need, and it begins to tear down. You know, I don't know what they're going to do. No one knows. No one's met them. I don't even know who the people are. But what you have is you have people that come over here, shucking and jiving, tell you what you want to hear, get the votes they want, flip it. So, and then they're not even maintaining the lawn. I had to turn them in to get the lawn mowed, you know, because the grass is out of control. So, very frustrated with that, but continue to watch it closely at the end. And then Thursday, 28th, there's a block party at Quakertown Park. So please put that on your calendar to come down. We'll have lots of fun for the activities. If you have kids, grandkids, etc. We'll have food. I think there's music playing. It's from 6 to 8, a couple hours. That's in preparation for National Night Out, which is October 3rd. And that's different neighborhoods gather. There'll be a list of schedules so you can go to those different events and get to meet your neighbors and police officers, etc. Last thing is, if you don't regularly do it, October 3rd as well. I think it starts at 10 a.m. you can sign up online for the tree giveaway that they do every year. So that's October 3rd, you can sign up and for that tree giveaway. I would recommend that. So first, go online, you sign up, and then you pick it up later. So, questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you mentioned the property that, that was rezoned and then sold, right? For future reference, if residents wanted to keep an eye on things like that, is that something like maybe an SUP, like a special use permit could limit like people flipping it for another purpose or something like that? It's been a while since I've been on P&Z, so I don't know if that's something that would be something local residents could ask for that would prevent that kind of thing?
No, I mean, when you zone it, it's for anything in that category.
Okay.
And they don't, yes, you could stipulate in there, hey, only this or only that, to a degree, yes, but, that's limited. You almost would just, I don't see how you do it, right? I'm sure there's a way to strip out kind of everything, but looking beyond, you just don't, it's a blind corner. So it'd be difficult to kind of get in front of all the bad things. That's why, that's a challenge when you change stuff like that. So, yes, sir.
So where you said it's multifamily now, that's what it is?
So it was residential.
Residential, okay.
That's what it was. Went to P&Z authorized a change. Majority council authorized a change to what it is now, MN, which is mixed use. And so now it could be, and they sold them a bill of goods saying it was going to be a fourplex, which I don't even like the way the last one they built looks like. But they said, hey, we're here, we're committed, we're going to build, we're right away. But yeah, they were going to build a fourplex there. And that's similar to what's down the street from Mrs. Clark Church, that giant fourplex down there across from the Gladney's or whatever. And so I wasn't crazy about that look either. So, but yeah, so it was residential, got changed to commercial, and then we'll see what these new people propose. And matter of fact, no plan was ever given. They came to council, said what they told, went to P&Z, went to council, said, hey, we're gonna do all these things. Never submitted a thing, never spent a dime. Absolutely just bought it, flipped it, and left.
But Mayor, seemed like I was remembering that the community did not want the fourplex. They came to the community and presented the design to the community, and the community said, well, we don't want that either. So I don't, and we would have a lot of questions about how many cars can park in that area. You remember the conversation? And what was gonna happen to that area, and the community came to the city council meeting and said, we don't want that. So we just never did hear back from those folks. Now we're hearing that it's been flipped again into the MN. Then now you might, a restaurant that you said you wanted may show up again, or more fourplexes or something, or a single house could come into that area. But the idea of it being flipped, for a whole group of people that don't have to come in front of the city council, or probably even you all, I'm not sure if they have to come back in front of the group?
No.
Well, we don't know what's gonna be up there.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, but they came and presented, and no one spoke. I walked the neighborhood, I said, hey, don't do it. And it's documented who voted for it. I'm not gonna go down that road.
Right.
But my advice was ignored. And that's the frustration. Because I get it, I live here, right? That's a block that's around the corner from my house. So it's personal. I just don't, and I'm telling you, my concern.
What do you think could go there? What would you be?
Residential.
Single family?
You could do a duplex.
But not a fourplex?
No. And because I've seen the fourplex in the residential neighborhood, and it looks bad. Like if you go drive over to Oak Street, it sticks out. It's not a good look, especially that little triangle. So that's my concern. But my concern is it begins to erode away at the neighborhood. Now what's to stop the person next to them? Now that family right there, they won't sell. But it just begins to be a problem as, that whole stretch between, why does that not turn commercial between Skinner and the railroad tracks? What's to stop that? Because a lot of those folks are renters. So if that sells for $200,000, everybody's prices are value of it doesn't matter what's on top of the ground, the dirt got more expensive. And so that's the problem. How much the dirt cost drives what you put on top of it.
Well, then it's your responsibility to sell or not sell.
Not if you're a
You don't
renter.
have to sell,
Not if you're a renter.
but if you're an owner,
Yeah, most are not.
yeah.
And that's the problem.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the corner of Cross Timbers and Mill, how did that property get approved? That big old monster
Yes.
building.
Is
How
that
did
across
that-
from the,
Daycare.
yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
What is that?
That's an apartment.
Yeah, it's either apartment or like a townhome type thing. I can't figure it out, but yes.
That guy told me that was an apartment.
But it's right across the street from those other
How
apartments.
did that get approved there?
Yeah, I'm assuming because those apartments across the street, I don't know who, they didn't come before us, so it was zoned that way at some point. And that's the thing, you can't.
It's always been a house there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at it, but they didn't, and I can look at it back there. And for those that are on tracking, so if you know Fredmore Day Nursery, right, if you drive up the hill there, look to the left, and then there's about it's 2-story.
Julie, that's the one I asked you about.
Apartment complex, or just kind of a few apartments right there on that lot. And then they sandwich that house in further down, close to your street.
But you know what? That's what I was saying to everybody back then. They rezoned a lot of this property over here, so they could do stuff like that. Remember it went from, what was it, 4? Where did it go to back then? They rezoned a lot of this property,
Yeah.
so they could do that.
Yeah. So I'll have to look, but yeah, no, that one didn't come before us to ask to be rezoned, so it must have been zoned that way already. So I'll pull that up and see what it was zoned. Because the one I'm talking about, the triangle, they had to come to us to try to change it. So I knew that one was residential before. But yeah, so it is just important to note. So next year, if you're looking at taxes, comps, cost of things, that's where it gets really important, that we make sure we keep everything consistent, uses consistent, so that because they'll use that as, now that's an empty lot, but if they put a house on it, it's a new house, it sells for a lot, and then all of a sudden it puts pressure on everybody else, because they'll use it as a comp for your house, like, hey, this is like yours, but this is just land, so I'll just watch it. But just so you know, as I'm watching, so Habitat House, that last one up there on Y Street, they bought the land for $80,000. So just the land without the house, $80K. So now I'll go back and look next year and see what land costs, or ask somebody what they paid for just the dirt, and try to keep an eye on it. But it's just really
That
important.
sitting across from that railroad track?
Yeah, $80,000 just for the land. And that's a nonprofit and they carry the note, like they don't go to the bank. So they are passionate about getting it as low as possible. And we'll watch this village that they're gonna build too, and kind of see, what the costs are associated with that. But any other questions? I'm sorry. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Vicki Byrd, District 1. I got my new hip. I don't think we saw y'all, I've seen y'all since,
You stepping.
because I was kind of doing this at first.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm back in business. I'm so glad to be able to share that with you all. I just have a couple of things here. I wanted to talk about Quakertown. Everybody should walk out of here with one of these cards.
Please do.
And remember, Logan, I'm sure you probably have more to say on that, but I
No, you
just
said
wanted to
it.
say that. But I do also want to let you all know that on Wednesday, I am going to go and sit down with the city of Denton for an interview about Quakertown. As a city council member, brought that project to the city, so we can start making sure that this history of Quakertown is all pulled together. So you all know there's a 4-part documentary that is being put together. The city was gracious enough to give $250,000 to this documentary. And now we're in the process of doing a crowdfunding. Reverend Logan, I don't want to steal your thunder there, I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that. To pull together some more money so they can finish it.
Yeah.
We want it finished out, and then we want to see it on TV. So that's gonna be the goal, to do that. So I'm excited about that, and I'm gonna do my interview with them. The other thing that I really want to make sure that you all be reminded of is that we are going to have a bond election in November. And I'm going to encourage you all to make sure that you go to the polls. By the way, we found out that Martin Luther King, the MLK Center, was not approved to be an early voting site. And so the Civic Center is on that list, but there was a question of, well, why not MLK? Because it's a regular voting site. So we asked the city to go back to the county, because they're the ones that make the decision, not the city, to go back to the county and consider putting the MLK as an early voting site and a regular voting site for this bond election that's gonna come up. So you know they're gonna be calling for about $309 million worth of bonds to get some of this work done. And I just wanted to remind you that part of that is the streets. So we always talk about streets. We talk about streets in this city probably more than anything else that we talk about, but it is going to help us get this Mingo Road fixed up all the way from Bell all the way back up to 380. So I'm excited about that. And then, I clicked on that, I didn't want to get in there. And then the drainage and the flood control. We know that the city is growing north and growing west. So we got all these new folks coming in and all these big businesses, all that's happening up there, and they're gonna be using a lot of water. And guess where it's gonna drain to? It's gonna drain south, headed back to Lake Louisville, and it's coming right through the neighborhood. And so the bond is on here to be able to manage and control all that, because we don't want any extra flooding or anything like that occurring up in this area. This is the southern part of the city. Then, of course, we're gonna get some new parks. People ask for parks and streets, and water and drainage and flooding. And then we got our public safety is gonna be on there. And then affordable housing, some more money issued into the affordable housing system, and that's also going to include some additional monies to help get your house back up and fixed up for that. Folks have asked for an active adult center, a senior citizens center that's up there on Bell right now, that may have an opportunity to move further south, because they recognize that a lot of people that go to that senior citizen center over there live down there near Teasley Lane, up in that area, all those new folks. So they're considering moving that way. So we just gotta vote on it to say yes. And then a brand new library, moving this library that's down here on Teasley. We recognize it's too small now because of all the people that have moved in over there. They need a bigger space. And instead of trying to add the library and add it on to some additional land where it's sitting, they're considering just building a brand new library for those folks over there. And then they'll update that fire department that's sitting right next to that library. So I'm excited about that. And then the last one is called City Hall West. Our city facilities are just all over the place. I mean, you got some over here, down here on Hickory, you got some down over here, you got one over there, and I got the fire department over here. We got, it's just kind of all over the place. But for the administrators, the people that make the decisions, the city manager and all of her folks, they are looking to kind of put a lot of things under one roof. Like they did that development building where they consolidated a lot of things. So if you want to know any more information about that, go to the City of Denton bond program. All of that information is listed right there, all the details for the bond program is listed there. Seems like I had something else to say. I should have written it down. I'm getting too old to remember all of this stuff. I received a And that's what you all be reminded to do. If you have any issues, any comments, any kind of concerns about what's going on in your area, that's what you're supposed to do, is pick the phone up and give me a call. And I did receive a call earlier today about some things that were happening at the American Legion Hall. So we have the parks area to come and talk to us about that. I think they said they were gonna send somebody, but hopefully we'll hear a little bit more information about that. But that's pretty much all that I have. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be at the, Jazz and Blue, not the Jazz and Blues, but the Arts and Jazz Festival on Friday night. And I am going to have some information about Quakertown there, so other folks can hear about what's going on. And we're, of course, wishing you all much success on that project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Cassandra, you have some fun.
Thank you, Wyatt. The mayor mentioned the National Night Out and the kickoff party being on this Thursday. And our agency, Denton County Friends of the Family, in the past years have hosted neighborhood national night outs. We had one at Pleasant Grove. Year before last, we had one at Fred Moore Park. There was a mix-up last year, we didn't host one, but this year we are. And so I reached out to Colette as well as the David, which is the Denton Area Vicinity Ministerial Alliance, the Housing Authority, and working with Officer Cunningham, representing the city and the police department. And so the plan has included inviting like nonprofits and some of the small businesses to come and table at that event. And so we have over 30 some odd respondents. And I've also talked to, you still gonna be out of town?
I think we're working on it.
Okay, I talked to council person Byrd, since it's here in the area. But we worked really diligently to reach out to different organizations to come in and just share information about what they offer. So we'll have free food, we'll have most, if not all, of the nonprofits that will be participating, a few small businesses. We'll have a bounce house and some games for the children. We'll have some music. Our agency choir will do a couple of songs. And so if you are available, and I hope that you are, it's Tuesday, October 3rd, and it will be at the Fred Moore Park from 6 to 9. Who all participated when we had the Pleasant Grove that year? Yeah, and then the year before last we had in the park, and so, yes, so we have like, Sam's Club will be there, the Denton County Public Health, Glitz and Glam, which is a small business owner, the bank, Texas Regional Bank, Interfaith Ministries, just a lot of people who want to come and spend time within the neighborhood for that national night out, just letting us know who they are and what are some of the benefits that can. So I have flyers, and so my request is that we have flyers here as well as down at the American Legion Hall, but I've made quite a few here with hopes that you will help maybe pass them out to different people in the neighborhood, because this is a open to the public free event. And so I'll
You have to give them to the churches yet?
You it now? So you can pass them out right now?
Yeah, and you said you got a letter. I had sent an email to Pastor Chambers, and he sent emails out to the pastors asking for their participation. So I haven't heard back from, he was taking care of the churches and I was taking care of all the rest. Any questions or comments? What are your thoughts about this? Are you those of you anticipating coming?
Yeah, we'll be there. I'll be there.
And I don't know, to the council people and the mayor, I'm working also with Amy Cunningham, and so she's supposed to let me know who will be representing the city there to welcome people. So I don't know who that is because they'll go to different places of the neighborhood parties throughout the city, so I don't know who our representative will be. If any of you are interested in participating, just let me know, because what we're asking people to do is to just make like a 90-second to 3-minute introduction of who they are and what they provide, and the services that they offer. And so if you did not know about this and you said this is something you're interested in or want to be a part of, then just my number is listed at the bottom, just let me know and happy to accommodate.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Gerard.
And with regard to the Quakertown Film Project, the Denton Black Film Festival, they will be there too to talk about what's coming up with that. And so a lot of good information we're anticipating being shared on that issue.
Great, thank
Any
you.
questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Julie, I'm gonna leave you to last, but, I think it's Michael, is it Michael? What's his name?
Go ahead.
Sean.
Oh, Sean. Yes. I don't know where I got Michael. You wanna go ahead, or you just gonna,
I'm following after them.
oh, you coming after them, okay. Who else is left? Did I miss
Are
anybody?
you gonna fill some time?
I have a question real quick.
You have to ask me twice.
I have a question.
Go right ahead, brother.
I noticed that I had asked Seth to be here. I'm trying to find out what's going on with the streets, because I don't know if y'all have been down Wilson, Bradshaw and Prairie. It's a disaster.
Yes, it is.
I came home from work the other day and you couldn't even get down my end of Prairie Street. I actually had to call Seth. There were 3 cars waiting to go to work. He had to come down, they had to build a little road so these guys could go to work. They were 15 minutes late, and it's every day. Every day. If you go down Bradshaw, you notice that street's already buckled. I sent Seth and Councilman Byrd a picture. That street is already buckled. And I get home at 10 o'clock every morning. I don't know what time this McCarthy group goes to work, but they're laid out on the benches. They're up in the cab of the tractor sleep. So I don't know what time they start work. I would love to have that job.
I'm tired.
At 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning, they're not working during the night.
Just kidding, bro. Just kidding.
But I go through every day, and I've had to call Seth for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Hey, I can't even get down on my road. A couple of weeks ago, me, the mailman, and Amazon, we had to go through the San Emmanuel parking lot.
Right.
So they could deliver stuff on Prairie Street.
Yeah.
And it's like, Seth, he does a great job, but he shouldn't have to. They know there's a neighborhood down there, and they're blocking it off, the signage is wrong. Me and Seth, we walk down, and like I say, it tells you to go back north when you can't. So he was changing the signage, like this McCarthy group, I don't know what the other groups are, but this McCarthy group is really doing a terrible job on Prairie and Bradshaw.
You get in contact. I can be getting in contact with him.
Oh, no, I talk to Seth all the time. And he actually came to the house, and he and I, we walked
Okay.
to show him, I didn't want to know if anybody, I'd always instructed if anybody else having any issues.
I just get scared driving down.
I just don't go that way.
So
I can't help it.
Yeah, I had issues on Mill Street, so, real bad. You just have to stay on, and he'll come. I'll give him that, when you call him, he comes out.
Oh, yeah. He came and knocked on my door.
Yep.
I guess he got tired of me calling him, so he actually came down.
Keep calling.
Thank you, Mr. McDade,
Thank you,
for that
Mike.
update.
Make it real quick. Look, guys, I don't know how many churches we have represented here this evening, but can anybody see first? I know St. Emmanuel's here, Mount Calvary's here. Anybody from St. Andrew? Anybody Mount Pilgrim? Got Mount Pilgrim? Each one of you that's representing a church, I'm asking you, please, go to your pastor after church, 11 o'clock hour. Say, I need 10 minutes. And give him these cards that we have, so that he will, from the pulpit, you can let me know next meeting, I want to pass it from the pulpit to support the Quakertown movie project. Now, the city of Denton has given us great support, $250,000. I mean, goodness. You don't pick it up very many cities for a movie, because it's history, it's Denton history. But we need some money now. Let's just play like it's just us in the building right now. I'm talking about us right now, okay, just us. Can I just talk like it's just us? I need some black money. I need some black money. We get some white money. I need black money. I need black dollars to go on this QR code and go to the GoFundMe. And so when I make the list out and present the list, and if the mayor asks me, have you got your list for your GoFundMe, how things going for your campaign? He may not ask, but if he asks me that, I want to show him the list. I got an Excel spreadsheet. I put everybody's name, everybody's church, the prayer group. They're on Tuesdays. Alma Clark and Sister Kim and their group. They send cash money out of their group. It's just a few ladies there. They're on Social Security just like me. But they gave money. They gave dollars. That's the black money. I need some more. I take some brown money too. Aaron, don't feel bad, brother. I take some brown money too. Everybody that's in this neighborhood, we need your dollars to support this event. And I want to make out that list, Excel spreadsheet with all the names of the people, the churches, these historical churches here in Denton. You know, they got that. I'm not going to talk about the $10,000 that they got. I didn't bring that up, Mayor. I didn't bring that up.
I'll bring it up.
But we should give some of that money back. But this is going to be something for history that may one day be in Hulu, may be on Netflix. But it's going to talk about Denton and about the Quakertown event, and the movie's going to tell the story. They're not holding back anything. So please, brothers and sisters, let's bring the money. Go to GoFundMe, make these cards out. Just click on it with your phone. I don't care how much money you give. You can give $10. I'll be excited. But we ask for your pastor to give 500 or 1,000. Yes, ma'am. Preachers. Now, I'm a preacher. My church, in Sangamon, we gave $625. And by the end of the year, we'll probably give another 400 and make it 1,000. And we're in Sangamon. But my members, some of them live in Denton. So the money's there. So go to your pastor and say, Pastor, why can't we give $500? Why can't we give $1,000 to this? Can you help me? Can you say amen at least?
Amen.
Okay, God bless you. Yes, you ask me a question, sister?
I do have a question. What about that maroon and white money? Has anyone gone to TW, asked her?
We own TW, that's the white money.
Well,
And they're reluctant.
Pay some money.
They got a purse and they got a lock and a key on it, but we keep hitting them at it.
Okay.
And I may have to end up picking their purse.
Okay.
But we're gonna hit TW and University of North Texas. But they're gonna come along and give us some money eventually, even if they say they're not.
Okay.
They're gonna give us some money before it's all done. Because the chancellor over there and president, she wants to do something, and the best way she can do it is give us some money. So we're gonna keep asking them. And we do have a lot of, when I talk about the money, I'm just saying, I'm just being direct with you because I can be. We need to give to this project.
It's good.
Don't look at me like that.
It's good.
You know, but I'm really hoping that this, little interview, that they're gonna put together, that's gonna be on a Denton PD, when they put that together, then we can take that with us when we go and meet with different groups. And so they can understand why we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Logan. Did I miss anybody before Julie comes
Well,
up?
no, I was gonna ask Reverend Logan while he was still standing there, can you give us an update on the steering committee, or how's that going, or
When is the steering committee talking about?
the Southeast Denton Steering Committee?
Oh, you don't be talking about the area plan?
Area plan.
Yeah, we meet, Julie, they call us and we meet, and they take our suggestions, and they're tend to get a big show down here at the American Legion. They're willing to come and work with the citizens here, they just need us to come and give them suggestions. That's what we need. They want to hear our mouth, let's let them hear our mouth.
That's what I wanted to do.
And Julie, then when they come, we want them to leave with a whole bunch of suggestions. Not just making up stuff, we want to be a benefit to make the city, because I'll say this and I'm going to close. People have found, at one time, Canaan land, people didn't know about it. But when the people found out about Canaan land, everybody just wanted to live there. And that's the way it is in Southeast Denton. Canaan land is no longer hidden. Everybody, every color, every race, every creed, every economic, they want to come to Southeast Denton now. because the land is right, and they're building houses, selling the property for $220,000, selling houses on my block for $230 on Park Lane. Come on, y'all. Moved there in 1964, we couldn't beg people to come outside. I left my house the other day, I saw a white woman walking a white dog down the cement street. I've never seen that before, but it's now in Denton. We are alive and well in this city. So it's up to us to make the best that we can make. And if they need our suggestions to do this. I'm trying not to be too direct. Pardon me, sister. It did that all the time. That's what it is. Police and house.
Good evening.
Good
Take one, pass it down, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
So what we have is two events that's coming up through the Denton Police Department that we're partnering with. One of them, the first one is going to be a coffee with a cop that we generally do. We're going to host that one at the American Legion Hall, and it has a date and time. And this initiative, the Faith and Blue, is done through national initiative that started in 2022 with a minister out of Atlanta, Georgia. And basically, it was the concept of police and community-based, faith-based coming together to do community events from the 6th, 5th, I think the 6th through the 9th every year. So we have two events that we have set up at the police department that we want to invite everyone to come out to.
You know what the 6th, I know we got the 7th and the 6th, I think one of them.
So we got two different ones?
Just two different days, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Friday and Saturday.
I printed out 20.
Oh, yeah.
So make it a little further. If not, I'll grab some more. I can print out some more.
We need something tonight. This is six.
For the 6th.
Thank you.
Got some more for the 7th?
You can tell us about it, I'll move right in my calendar.
All right, but yeah, so those are two events. We're gonna have the Coffee with the Cop at the American Legion Hall. We're gonna have a lot of executive staff come out, officers come out. We're inviting the community to come out. So hopefully it'll be an opportunity to meet and greet, ask questions, discussions, and just, have a good time on that. And then the second one on the 7th is gonna be out now Calvary. I think it's set up from 11 to 1. Similar thing, food, entertainment, multiple agencies. So we're partnering with the universities as well, with TW and UNT. And
That's the one in Mount Calvary.
yes, and it's definitely going to be designed for the whole community to come out, but with kids as well. So they're going to have the bounce houses and food and try to do other entertainment. Have the police vehicles that are going to be on display, and equipment is going to be on display. We're planning on bringing out the drones for the kids, the robots for the kids that they're available. So it should be a good time. It's going to be limited Saturday because their weekend conflicts with the Arts and Jazz, and we got officers that are going to be throughout the city. So it'll be kind of difficult to commit to all day like we initially wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, hopefully it'll be worthwhile.
Now, is there something new that's gonna just kind of take place at this time, or is this a one-time thing, or is it?
So Arts and Jazz kind of fluctuates in the time. It just depends on what they're doing. The Faith and Blue is pretty much the same weekend every year. Like I said, they started in 2022, so it's still fairly new. But their website has a lot of information. It said that they've grown to, I guess, one of the largest events in the nation, just between all the participation between law enforcement community and the churches. And then we have the National Night Out. Is Miss Byrd here? Oh, okay, this is talking about National Night Out? Okay, so we're getting ready with that as well as far as the partnership, so again, we would like to invite everyone to be able to come out and thank you. Okay. Were there any questions or any concerns going on that we need to address? We looked at some of the calls, all the crime happened in this area, and the numbers are definitely down, which is good. But again, if there's any questions or concerns, we can definitely get those addressed.
Any concerns? No concern?
That's another secret that's got out that didn't also. There's no concerns in Southeast Denton.
Oh, yeah.
About police. That myth has went away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we still have work to do, and we're constantly working. But yeah, so, I mean, I hear some things as far as if there's certain addresses that we need to pay attention to. There's a couple on the radar that we have been looking at, but again, that's the hope and design is that we can address these issues and concerns and keep it where it looks a minimum where we don't have a lot of problems when it comes to law enforcement. Speeding is still on the agenda, but we'll just keep looking at different strategies and ways to address that.
Where is this posted?
So they're getting ready to just put those out, and I'm not sure if they put them out on social media, because with that Faith in Blue, you have to submit all of your stuff socially through them so that they promote it as well. So it'll either be on the Denton Police Department website, social media, or Faith in Blue. If our PIOs got it to them, those are two areas.
Thank you, John.
All right.
Thank you. Anybody else before I turn it over to Junior?
Can I say one thing, following up? So real quick, want to follow up. That is a single family up on the hill. It's a house. We won't know until they move in, and probably won't know after they move in, but I pulled it up, it's R3, so that's 3 houses per acre is what's allowed there. It's still zone residential, so it's a single family home is what they would represent to you. It's just real lean because the property's lean, and then there's a guest house behind it, but it doesn't have a kitchen, so it's not considered like a separate house or an accessory dwelling.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I saw the outside. I hadn't walked it.
It was gonna be an apartment.
No,
People don't want to.
zoning won't allow it to be an apartment. It is, all that is R3, behind that is R4. Yeah,
Okay, so they changed it. They changed it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought it was the same thing, looking at it. But I have seen those style homes, those real narrow, you see them a lot in Houston, that sort of thing. So we'll see. Those that don't know, you can have 4 unrelated people in your house in a residential house. So that's what the code. So if you get beyond that, but it's hard to prove that. But anyway, and then also, Mayor Pro Tem Beck pointed out something that I failed to mention, and so I appreciate that. There is, and I'll send it to you, send you the website so that you don't have to write it down, but I'll get it to the president that there's a development project information opportunity to sign up, and then you get an email. So anywhere in the city, if something is getting applied to be changed, you get an email, so you don't have to keep looking up everything. So you can just kind of register to receive those notices. So I'll get that, I'll email that link to Colette so that she can get it out to the group, one of her group emails. And then lastly, we're picking up where Cunningham left off. The council approved $25,000 for slow kids at play signs for neighborhoods. So the staff's working through what that's going to look like. But then hopefully we'll have those available for people to pick up, and again, just trying to do everything we can to get people to slow down. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else before Julie takes it over?
Come on,
Okay, Julie.
Mia's gonna kick it off.
evening, everyone.
Hey there.
Hello, I'm Mia Hines. I'm the Deputy Project Manager for the Southeast End Area Plan, working with the city. Julie is our project manager, and then we also have Sean here, who's Deputy Project Manager for the Downtown Area Plan. Today we just wanted to give you guys an update on where we are with this area plan process and sort of the things that we've done to specifically tailor to make sure that we are getting the area plan that Southeast Denton needs from the voices of Southeast Denton, using techniques and tools to make sure that we're reaching the population and the demographics of Southeast Denton. And then where we are currently, so what are some of our next steps, and then also seeking some of your participation in some of the other area plans so that we're making sure that Southeast Denton is successful and the downtown plan is successful as well, because both of those areas being adjacent to each other sort of both need to thrive and both need to be successful, and we need that input from this community as well to see what they would like to go on within their neighborhood, but also in the areas surrounding it. So just jumping straight into the Southeast Denton area plan, if I could turn your attention a little bit to the screen here. So most of you all know that we started the Southeast Denton area plan, again, specifically wanting to hear the voices from the residents and stakeholders of the Southeast Denton area community, the longtime residents, the newer residents, and I wanted to today specifically take this time to thank you all and your participation. I see a lot of familiar faces, of course, us just working with you all with this group, the SED group, but also a lot of you have been at the some of the public engagement efforts that Julie will discuss here in a second. So thank you all for your continued participation. This plan is trucking along, and we have gotten some good feedback so far. We still want to get more people, so continue to spread the word and continue to get people from this community to attend these sessions and give us their input. Because that is very important for the success of this plan in the planning process, but also in the implementation process. So once we actually get to do the action work and we actually get to put plans and policies in place and enact those to make sure that Southeast Denton community is getting what Southeast Denton community wants and desires for their area. So with this start of this area plan, of course, like I said, we tailored the specific approach to this, and we've made some readjustments within this process, again, specifically tailored for the Southeast Denton area. We started off in the discovery phase where we as staff and our project team just sort of took an outside looking in approach to see what we observed just from an inventory standpoint, what's on the ground, and then what we observed, like I said, from the outside looking in of the Southeast Denton area. From that, we went on to the define phase, where we took what we observed and then we asked questions about some of those things. And then Julia talked about some of the things that we put on to get some of those answers back from the community. Right now, we're in a bit of the define phase as well, but we're also moving towards the develop phase. We have, and again, Julia's going to talk about some of those efforts. We have some visual preferences coming up. So we asked you guys, what would you like to see? And what improvements do you want to see happen to the community? What are some of the issues, some of the concerns that you have within the community, within the planning umbrella? Within that development phase, we're going to come up with some suggestions. We're going to show you some visual preferences to make sure that we, based on the concerns that you have delivered to us, make sure we're hearing you right, and we're going to present to you some of those draft ideas that we have about how to improve Southeast Denton and get to where, again, we want to be as a community. And then from that development phase, we'll go into the delivery phase, where we'll be working closely with our government bodies, Planning and Zoning Commission, City Council. We'll bring them an actual draft of the plan, to again make sure that we've collected everything correctly, we've heard everything correctly, and then that body will discuss it and vote on those plans. We'll take it back, make sure if there's any adjustments that need to be made, and then we'll deliver that final product. And then we get into implementation, where you'll see a lot of those things start to actually happen. Those plan actually start to be implemented, and those things that happen in real life. And then, so with that, I'll pass it over to Julie to talk a little bit about some of the public engagement efforts that we've had, and then that's from me.
Awesome. And some of this is review. I know we've got Commissioner McDade here, we've got some others here, so some of this might be review, but Julie Wyatt, and I'm with the planning department, and I too am so appreciative of this group and this community coming out to our engagement efforts, and I want to continue to just encourage you to keep coming because we need to hear from you. So we started out, as Mia said, that every area plan is a little different. We want to make sure that we tailor the plan and the engagement efforts to the community. And so given the history of Southeast Denton, those past harms associated with Southeast Denton and Quakertown, we started out with listening sessions. And that was really our consultant team coming to the community and just asking some really hard questions, getting that feedback. We had 2 rounds of them. The first round, the city wasn't even invited. They wanted to have really candid conversations with the community. They didn't want us there so that the community members would feel really open and be able to share. So we had quite a few attendees with the round 1, but our consultant group did an initial demographic assessment of the community, and then who attended those sessions, and realized we were missing some members of our community that we wanted to hear from. In particular, those who attended the first listening session skewed a little older, and we wanted to make sure that we heard from young people too, because area plans, we really are planning for our future, our kids and our grandkids. And so we want to hear from them to find out those things that they want from Southeast Denton, so that they will stay here and build lives here and businesses and have their families and raise their families here. So we went back and we had round 2. We retooled our communication strategy because we wanted to make sure we heard from other people. So we looked at things. Mia and I have a little route that we go take out flyers, and we did our yard signs. We did more social media engagement. And so we also had interpreters that we included, as well as translations into Spanish, because we wanted to make sure we heard from all members of our community. And so so then we had those 2, that round 2 of the listening sessions in June. Oh, and then we'll just go through it. So some of you were there, so you probably know that some of those questions were pretty tough. But it was really it was designed to get to the heart of what the community, what their feelings were, what their desires were, and to try to figure out where we go from here. So, also, as part of reaching young folks, you probably know young folks don't always go to community meetings. And so we thought, you know what, we need to go where the community is. So we did, we realized that things like pop-ups, that's kind of the new hip term. We went to Juneteenth and asked those questions at Juneteenth. We also went to a couple of, we went to a restaurant and just like grab people out of the parking lot and ask the questions. Our interpreter got so into it, she actually got in the car with people because it was very hot and they were asking them questions. So got a lot of feedback with those intercept surveys. We were here at MLK and talked to parents as they were picking up kids. So really trying to get out in the community to get that feedback. So we had some key things. I won't read all of these to you, or I'll just touch on them. This is kind of a summary. We did a longer version of this to the Planning and Zoning Commission, but this is really a summary. Key themes. Those unjust practices have not been forgotten. Quakertown has not been forgotten, and those unjust practices throughout the decades. Residents, I think Commissioner McDade said it tonight, residents are frustrated by the lack of communication, especially regarding this road reconstruction project. It is so great to hear that Seth is talking with you, but how can we do better in the future to communicate how these projects are going to move forward? So we got a lot of lessons learned as to how we're going to move forward. Speeding is a concern. Over and over we hear from the community, and that is the community, that they love our facilities, they love just the history, the members of the community can remember where their grandparent, visiting their grandparents and their parents. And so that sense of community is vital to Southeast Denton. And those parks and those public spaces are a cherished part of that. Property tax increases, it's funny, those of you who participated in the first round of listening sessions, we had that the week that everybody got their new tax valuation. And so that was really top of mind, because like everybody in Denton, the values in Southeast Denton have increased considerably. And so that is top of mind for the residents as to how we're going to, what approaches we can take to hopefully soften that. Residents feel a change is coming. They want more community consultation with planning and zoning, like the mayor said tonight, no understanding what's coming forward. The city can improve its relationships, and the infrastructure must be improved, right? But there is hope. There is opportunity to improve the city's relationship with Southeast Denton, with communication and consultation. Residents didn't seem against new development, but how it's done, I think, is what's important, and how we can support existing community members if those increases in property values occur. Help alleviate concerns regarding gentrification and displacement. To stabilize property values and property taxes, and then acknowledge that past harm from Quakertown. So we had the 2 listening sessions, and we had the pop-ups and the intercept surveys. Then we went to the visioning workshop. This was in August. For those that we had 34 who attended. And for those who you attended, this probably also sounds very familiar, but we had boards set around the American Legion, and they had hands-on activities, and just asking the questions from the community. So what do you love about Southeast Denton? What is your dream? I won't go over all the boards, I promise. One thing that I do want to touch on, and something that's come up a lot, is what is the boundary of Southeast Denton? And so that is something that we're talking about with the community, and we got some great feedback at the visioning workshop. Now, the boundary that you've seen on all of our marketing materials, that really was a starting point. That is somewhat consistent with a previous area plan for Southeast Denton, so it really was that starting point, but now we want to hear from the community about where is Southeast Denton and how do you define that? We asked where you want to have change, what you want to save, those things that you value. One thing that we got a lot of feedback on are those pedestrian and bike pathways and intersections, and in particular, ones that you find are unsafe. I got some really great information from community members who live here, and in fact, a lot of information like on Morse and how the parents queue up in the morning. So, unless you live that every day, that kind of information is really valuable. Also information about that intersection at Lakey, right next to the American Legion, and concerns about the safety of that intersection. So got some really great feedback from the community. Parks and trails, once again, cherished amenity, but how can we even make them improve them? How can we do it better? One thing we heard at Juneteenth is places for kids to go. As a parent of teenagers, that third place for kids, the places where they can interact together and be safe within our community. So how can parks improve so they can become that third place for our kids? We also talked about ideas for existing housing and also economic activity. One thing that we talked about that was really popular at our visioning workshop was our historic preservation officer was there, answering questions about historic districts and conservation districts and tax implications for historic districts and how they work. So it was a really crowded part of the visioning workshop, and we got a lot of really good information. Also information about our economic activity. not only a place-based economic activity, but people-based economic activity. Next. So, kind of based upon that visioning session, we're now building upon that. The next event, and it's really going to be not just one event, it's going to be spread out event, because I think we've had the most success in our outreach efforts is to really be out in the community and to be where the people are. So we're going to be doing a visual preference surveys. The intent of that is to get the community's feedback on, once again, the area boundary. We've heard from those who came to the visioning workshop, but we really want to hear more. We want to make sure that we've got a good consensus on what that Southeast Denton area boundary is. We also want to talk about desired types of housing and commercial development. What do they look like? How tall are they? How big are they? What are those architectural design elements? Looking, especially that historic character of Southeast Denton, are there architectural elements that we'd like to see in new housing to make sure it fits within that character of Southeast Denton? So that's the kind of discussion we want to have next. So we're going to fan out in the community over about a 2-week period. We're hoping that we can get in front of this group. I know you've got limited meetings coming up. If you do have meetings, we'd love to be here. Really gonna have kind of a lookbook for the community to look at and say, okay, I like this, I don't like that, and to get that feedback so we can start building and start looking at some implementation strategies. We're also gonna do intercept surveys associated with that and also go to community events. One more thing about that. We don't have those exactly scheduled. It's probably going to be in the last couple of weeks of October. I'm hoping it will have cooled down by then. And then next steps, after we get through that next portion of our public engagement, that'll be kind of the wrap up of this first phase of public engagement. Our consultant is going to go back and look at all the data that they've gotten from the community. They're going to look at demographic data. They're going to look at value data, information from our engineering team about the streets, and really come up with some draft plans to come back to the community and talk with you about. So that really is those next steps, and that concludes what our update on Southeast Denton Area Plan. Before I bring up Sean, if y'all have any questions or comments, anything? Yes, sir.
You made a comment that they sent out the taxes in April.
The valuation, yes.
And they had increased, that's before they even started groundwork on the railroad and with Habitat.
Property values in Denton have increased. I think we're all feeling it, so yes.
So I mean, they went up in this neighborhood without anything being done, and now you're building the apartments and Habitat's coming, so I look forward to go up even higher.
Well, and we've actually, because of that is a really good point. We did talk with the appraisal district. We actually sat down with the appraisal district to ask them questions about, like, how do you do what you do, and what is the state law associated with it? So it is their milieu. It's not really something that the city controls, but they tend to go up on a yearly basis, is my experience. I don't know how much though. So I don't know what next year will bring.
I mean, the appraisal district reports to no one, maybe God. The appraisal district reports, really, they're their own entity. I mean, they don't report to anyone.
State agency.
The state?
The appraisal district is a state agency.
Well,
The
that's
state sets the rates, and the appraisal district's gotta go out and rate everybody what the rates are. That's why your governor can do the peacock dance when they say, oh, we're gonna lower your taxes.
Well,
And so whatever that means and when that comes, that's what we're waiting on.
and the appraisal district said that Texas is actually a gold standard as far as the property valuation. And we're like, what? Everybody gets mad every April, but I guess there are other states that don't revalue every year, and they do it every 5 years, and so there could be, I guess, payment shock associated with. So I don't quite know, it is still somewhat opaque to me as well, but, so, I don't know where it's gonna go from there as far as valuation.
I know that they're encouraging, folks to go ahead and do the homesteading, their homes, so you can, level off those taxes.
And over 65 if you qualify, so whatever exemption you qualify for, apply for it, because it definitely does make a difference.
With y'all's, just like small area plan, will it ultimately create like a map for the area with an ideal like zoning or?
That is a great question, yes, and I was gonna mention something based upon what the mayor said. Ultimately, yes, we're gonna have an implementation section where there's gonna be policies and maybe some strategies associated with property taxes or other things that we can, that reflect the community's vision about how we want to be in 20 or 30 years. But there will be a map associated with it. And it's going to be a little finer grain than the comprehensive plan map. So it's going to be more like the 5,000 foot level, not the 30,000 foot that you get with the comprehensive plan. So it will be something that staff and the city's decision makers, the Planning and Zoning Commission, the city council members can look at when they are faced with a zoning decision, when they're faced with a project coming forward where somebody's asking something of those decision makers to be able to weigh that project. So it will give directive in terms of that land use.
So does that work as like whenever you're actually in a planning and zoning meeting or a city council meeting, or even like when planning is deciding a new zoning change, does it function as like a recommendation or a binding situation, or how does it play its role into that process?
It is a policy document, like the comprehensive plan. But I feel certain that if there were a zoning case that comes forward in the next couple of years after this planning effort is completed, the mayor, Planning and Zoning Commission members and city council members are gonna say, what does the plan say? And how did you analyze this associated with the plan? Because they're gonna be looking for that too, and they're gonna have that expectation that staff has done that work.
Is he gonna go next?
We got Sean, you're up.
So it can't get dark, I got people that can't drive.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go real quick.
Okay.
I just have 2 slides. So I want to just briefly introduce the downtown plan, myself, and then let y'all know about 2 opportunities coming up where we'd really like to get y'all's feedback. Just like everyone else, we want to hear from y'all. So my name is Sean Jacobson. I'm one of the planners of the city, and I am delighted to be the assistant project manager for the downtown area plan, which we're calling Design Downtown Denton. And the idea there is to look at the next 20 years of downtown Denton, see what do people love that we really want to make sure we keep, and what are people looking for that we want to make sure we bring into that around with better sidewalks, addressing how we handle parking, parks, all of that. But one of the most important elements, and the main reason I'm here, is that plan is going to include a new plan for Quakertown Park. And our consultants are very excited about that. We have specific park experts that are part of the team. And so as part of Arts and Jazz, we're actually going to have a park visioning activity. So an opportunity to give feedback from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on that Saturday of Jazz Fest. Come on over and we'll have various activities to talk about what style of park and what park elements y'all want to see. So we'd love to have you come out, let people know. We want to get as many people out there as possible so that our consultants can hear what Denton wants to see in the new plan for Quakertown Park. So that's going to be really important. We'd love to get your feedback on that. But also, on a more direct level, one of the most important parts of that Quakertown plan is going to be specifically memorializing that history of Quakertown. That's very important. And that's not something we want to just put in the here, everybody come talk to us activity. What we want to do for that is actually have a specific focus group where we're getting that feedback from hopefully direct descendants of folks that were impacted by folks in this community. We actually want to have a focus group for Southeast Denton where we hear directly. And so We have not put the exact date in for that yet, but I do want to start getting some names and some contact information as we're planning for that. Hopefully at the next meeting, we'll be able to let y'all know when that will be. But we really want to make sure that we hear from the right people for that. You know, we want to make sure that vision matches what the community wants to see. So again, two things. First of all, please come out on that Saturday of Arts and Jazz and give us your thoughts on the future of Quakertown Park. And then please let me know if I can just start to collect some of those names and contact information for people that really need to be part of that focus group. And of course, we'll give you many more opportunities to give us that information. But really appreciate your time. Happy to answer any questions, but I want to get you all out of here in time.
Thank you. Thanks, Senator.
Yes.
I'm in, that's in here, right? The mask. With the mask on? Her, yeah.
What about me?
I couldn't see who you were with the mask.
I'm Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Chelsea.
I'm starting to get sick, so I didn't want to.
Oh, okay. I think, is that Michael next to you?
Yes.
Okay, Michael. Yeah, I told you that to come to the meeting tonight, but because of the time.
Oh, I didn't mean to give an update,
Okay.
I just wanted to be here and I can talk to y'all about it.
Okay, because I know there's several people
Yes,
who
ma'am.
drive it dark, including me.
I took us long last time, so.
Okay, all right. Thank everybody for coming out.
Thank
But
you,
if we cannot meet here next month, I will let you guys know where we will be meeting. I get a spot for us.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. And the chairs need to be put up, please. Not the tables, just.
Just say, just do. Yes, ma'am.